Patty and I are going to be talking just kind of like hey Sabine, what that we've kind of been going through over the last year. So the theme of our next round is going to be how this past year has stretched us. So Patty's going to come on since she and I are kind of in this together, of course, with our beautiful team of instructors. And it's just been kind of like such a crazy, wild ride. As we've gone through this, Patty and I have been working. Here she is, but she's joined, but she's not my guest. Patty, here she is. Sorry, guys. There she is. Whoa.
Why am I so bright?
My head's good. I know. I'm like here.
Oh my God.
And you're just outside?
I'm in the shade. Oh my God.
It is kind of like, I don't know. I can't explain that. I've never seen that happen before.
I can't explain it either.
Hi, guys who are coming in. Whoa.
No. Wow. All right.
Back up a little, maybe.
My arm can only go so far.
Patty, are you facing the sun?
I am literally in the shade, and the sun is like at 11 o'clock kind of behind me.
Are you, do you have a new phone?
Nope. Like a glowing sun.
It looks like a filter. I can't.
Never a dull moment. That's hysterical.
All right, anyway. You are totally glowing. Well, good. I hope everyone else is having a chuckle. I mean, you look really pretty because it looks like a special makeup job. You know, like the eyes are like
a filter. Like all my blemishes are gone.
You're like at the black liner, so it's like very defined. Your lips are bright, and then whoosh. It reminds me of when I was back at Chanel, and I'm going to just totally digress for a second. We had a product that was this thick cream. Any of you who are on here with me, who worked with me back then a million years ago, and it was called Blanc de Creme, I think, and it was thicker than whipped cream, and it was to give you like that porcelain finish. But we all loved it. Like we're all like smearing it on, and it was very Chanel, like with the bright red lips. And then I saw a picture of myself. I was walking around, and I looked like you look right now. And everything else was a regular color, and I had this like blasted out white face.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so I was telling everyone when we started that we're starting a new round of chats, and I'm going to start laughing. And I can't look at you. All right, I'm going to pull it together. That we've spent the last year scrambling, and I was just telling everyone that we had so many conversations throughout the year, just like talking about like how we were feeling, what we were doing, how we were how we were figuring out were we going to make it, are we going to, everything. And so I was just telling everyone that we thought it would be cool to start a new round of our chats with us all just either talking with each other or with friends about just reflecting on how we've been stretched over the past year, because I know you and I both have talked a lot about like how we've been so stretched. So I'll just share quickly, and Patty, well, you'll go after, but I think like looking back, and I just kind of look at the metamorphosis of myself, like just being alone a lot and just trying to figure things out in just this wide span of time, is that I feel like something that I've learned just by living it every day is my sense of just time, right? I think I was, well, I had a distorted sense of time because I move so quickly. And it really kind of just slowed me down, and it gave me a better grasp on time without things pushing on me to the condensed time for me. I always felt like I was running out of time. And so I can recall, like in the very beginning when quarantine started, we would be talking and I'd be like, laundry's done, groceries are done, dinner's made, you know what I mean? Like emails are complete. And I was just really stunned by that feeling of like, I don't think I've ever felt like I was on top of things, like in a whole sense. And then,
Right.
and just putting the connection together is, because just time has changed. The expenditure of time has changed, and the pressure on us had changed. And so I just found that to be it really opened my eyes on kind of like how I'd been living, and then of course thinking like, how can I bring that forward and manage time in a more holistic way, instead of being, running here, running there, doing this, doing that. And then I think the other most significant thing is, many of you know, I've had crippling hip issues. It's oxalate toxicity, which you can look up. It's kind of a science fiction type of crazy thing I have. And I just wasn't getting better. I was just getting worse and worse. And so this allowed me to step back and heal. And then it also has shown a light on the idea that healing takes time, a lot of it. And so I kind of had that time. So I'm so grateful that I just had a chance to work on getting better, because it wasn't looking good on where, extend out 5 to 10 years. And I was concerned about that. And I was pushing through and not really stopping to think. So those are my two biggest takeaways from looking ahead now to re-enter, and can we bring what we learned and kind of shape our lives a little differently to bring all the good stuff that resulted from a lot of bad stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it was almost the opposite with time. So, I mean, what came to my mind as you were talking is, for me, time, let's say, is a ribbon. And during the pandemic, my time was cut as if there were scissors that cut the ribbon, and I have these little short bits of time.
Oh, that's so, and I had the opposite.
Yeah, so when you were talking about your time, I said my time is not like that. My time is these short little bits where and I don't want to say I'm running around, because I wasn't, because we couldn't go anywhere. But, my kids were home, and hi. And so my attention was never continuous on any given level, time, or day. It was just always chopped up. Wow. And so if I'm using that ribbon analogy, a piece would fall on the floor, and then I would say, oh, look, that's not done yet, or I have to pick up where I left off and continue that segment of time. Wow. So I learned that, we have to go with the flow more at this point. Flexibility, I know that's what we do, but really for myself and in time, just being flexible and really going with the flow, and whatever opens up for us, whatever has to shut down for us, just kind of ride it.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely, from the business perspective, we were like, as soon as we'd get one thing nailed down, it'd be like blown up. Yeah. But it's interesting, because it's kind of like I was like swimming, like just sustaining a continuum, and you, on the other hand, were like hurtling. Like
I was completely jumping, and
that's so interesting.
Dodging.
And dodging, right. Well, and you had the whole thing, not just our business changing every day, but then you had 2 kids in school, and a husband whose schedules were changing every day. And then of course your kids needed you, and it was the total opposite. But it's so interesting just to think, to be able to look back at, I just remember us being in such a state of shock in the beginning.
We would stare at each other at the computer. Like, what do we do?
What do we do? Yeah. And I still don't know what we're going to do, but it is that period where it was just kind of this weird, I was having this weird paralysis in my legs, and life felt paralyzed, and the business felt paralyzed, and it was this really tenuous moment where it was just hard. Even when I think back of it, when I think back to those times when we were talking and it's just like, what do we do? What do we do? And then I still feel like I go blank when I think about it. You know what I mean? Like, even though the whole point of our conversation today is to look back and glean what we can from it. And just kind of like how it definitely changed. And I'm sure every single person on the planet has been changed by it. But I think the healthy thing for me, and I know for us, has been to look for what changes are positive that we can implement that can actually make our lives better, and take from it what it gave us. And as I said, I wasn't expecting what I got.
Right
At all.
I don't know if anybody could.
Yeah, that's why we're going to make this a whole series, because it's going to go on and on and on and on. Yeah. Anyone have any thoughts? Like, we'd love to hear what any have similar types of things, or how you've been stretched. Or I love, Patty, it's like life is so much about flexibility, not just in our bodies. And if anything put that whole idea about flexing with incoming circumstances, this was it. Like,
for sure.
It's kind of like flexibility in this case is really like a coping, like a means to figure out how to cope.
Right.
Let's see. Hey, Carl. Oh, hold on. I see a little number here. Hold on. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. So
I'm so glowing.
I don't know what I just did. I don't know what so someone out there, you get a message from me.
Donna says hi.
Donna says hi. It just says send a request. So I did. So someone who's watching is going to get a request from me. Yeah. One thing we did not do is brush up on our Instagram skills, obviously.
No.
Patty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, and then what? Did you have anything else, like the time? What about your kids?
I've learned. Oh, my kids. They're actually happy to be back in school, because even though they like their freedom, I realized, and they realize, they do need the structure. So they do need their time to be more like systemic and more regimented, which I can appreciate having none of that this past year, really.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would agree with them. There would be times, it was about, I would say between like 3 and 4 every day, that I would just kind of lose touch, and I would feel so disoriented, and I would just be like, I have stuff I could do. I don't want to. I could find some stuff, how many times do you clean a closet, do all the stuff I had all that done the first week. Like the long list of things you've never gotten to. And it was a weird feeling lost, but it was at the same time every day, which was also kind of like led me to ask the question, what was I doing at this time? What was happening at this time every day that like I transitioned into some other, where the lack of that structure, and not having the classes, like running around the city, going to Studio 1, Studio 2, Studio 3 to teach. It was just like, where am I?
Right, in your day.
Yeah, and it just forced, I hope this is true for a lot of people, it forced different new disciplines. It forced looking within, way deeper than I was looking within before, because I pride myself on that. But I mean, this took that to a whole new level. And even like, like I started to meditate, which I'm usually too hyper to do. Like, I'm either wide awake and buzzing around, or I'm asleep. So to find like a middle ground to just center was new for me. And
Right.
and now that's part of my life and part of my day, which is a huge benefit. Yeah. Hey, Carlos. Yeah. Oh, Marianne, hi. Yeah, cool. So, I think, speaking of your ribbons,
Yes. I got to pick one up right now.
you gotta pick up one of those ribbons to drop.
I do.
Right. So the whole point of us, we usually come on at 3 o'clock on Thursdays, and then we're like, oh no, like what do we do? Patty's like, I can't. I said, all right, we'll have to move it to 2:30, because she's like, right, exactly. That's the whole point. Like, I got to go pick up my kids. Like, we can't. 3 o'clock is no longer going to work. I'm like, damn it. So we're small and we're all a family. So we're just like, no one will be upset. We're good, Marianne. How are you? My old boss at Health and Racket. It's nice
Yay.
to see you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So next week, we're going to mix it up a little bit this round. We're all going to talk about reflecting on how we've been, quote unquote, stretched. It could be anything. It could be the whole gamut. And there's Miss Amber hanging on. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm making sure I'm answering people as they come in. So, yeah, all of our instructors will now go with either each other or someone else. And we just like to start this conversation and looking ahead to what this year brought us. And, looking for the positive. What changes has it made in our lives that will benefit ourselves and others? And of course, like, we have our classes and we love to see everyone in our classes. So yeah. And I'll give you one last sec if there's anyone. Hey, Amber.
Hey, Amber.
Yeah, I don't know if there's, yeah, okay. So guys, thank you for jumping on with us. We'd love to hear from you. This will be, we'll put this up on our IG page. So if you have any afterthought comments or questions, pop them in there. We can always communicate in the little, wherever.
IG
comments.
world.
Yeah, the IG world. And in the meantime, we'll look forward to seeing you either in class, on Zoom, hopefully soon in a studio. We will start our outdoor classes, so if you're in New York, I'd love to see you in the park. It's really quite spectacular. Clouds. But yeah, so at some point, as the ribbons
Start
get put back
to
together,
right.
we hope to see you all soon. What, Patty?
Thanks, Donna. I think we're not in sync anymore.
Now there's a delay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.